right, so today's video we're going to be visiting SupaColor to figure out where your DTF prints come from, and we're going to be doing a comparison between DTF prints and DTG prints. For the DTG prints, we'll be back at our warehouse and print, but today SupaColor is going to give us a rundown. Sergio's out here from SupaColor, but he's going to show us how to press the DTF prints and why you would do it, and let's figure it out. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. So come on up. Let's take you guys directly to our studios.
Oh wow!
So this is basically where we shoot all our educational stuff. What sets us apart, ultimately what it is we screen print part of our transfers, and that's why we're the best in the industry, is we got the washability and the hand feel that everyone expects, whether you're a pro or a clothing brand or just an artist. Since 2019, what got us here and what's keeping us going is ultimately our hybrid printed product. So part of it is going to be a printed water-based screen print on the whites, and on top we're doing a 7-color digital process.
Consumer only gets charged for one color.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. There's no setup fees, there's no per
Look at the
color costs.
On this. You can't. That would
be really great gradients on there.
Yeah, that would be like 10 screens.
Yeah,
10 screens,
absolutely.
10 setup fees.
Most recently, what we've introduced is our own DTF product. So ultimately what sets this apart is we're using a proprietary process that's an actual printer and ingredients that we're using to kind of get this made, which gives you really nice color and vibrancy out of the DTF.
Everybody thinks every DTF print is the same. Why do yours come out so much more vibrant?
When we're printing out our SupaColor, we're actually using screen printing as part of a process, so we got a whole proprietary setup for that. But when it comes to the SupaDTF, which is our whole newest one, it's our own printer, our own inks, our own adhesives, and our own mylar that we're using for this. So let's just kind of go into our next sample right here. So this is called Blocker.
This blocks out the sublimation on the soccer jerseys and all that, so that it's a vibrant print.
So as soon as you hit heat onto any polyester product, this chemical reaction that's happening there, it's going to cause dye migration, so it's going to make all your art look really weird, and that's really what sets this apart, is we have a blocker layer that's actually going to prevent that from happening. But yeah, in addition to that, it doesn't always have to be jerseys. Say if you're working with stuff like super technical, that's going to be kind of like really like a real interesting blend. Yep, no heat press mark on it. A North Face blank, it's not the cheapest blank, right? So it's something that you don't want to put under the press and kind of stress out about it.
Yep.
But it's no big deal, because ultimately with our transfers, you can press them as low as 290. We have a transfer type specific for headwear. And ultimately the big difference with this one is, yeah, you can put DTF on hats, but when it comes to seams, things going down the middle, that's where we make it happen, is we can bridge the seam.
So that means you could do low temp too?
Yeah, so you can go as low as 290 on the hat transfers. If you're dealing with a super sensitive hat, like say if it's super like polyester, or kind of like the trucker caps that are kind of all completely polyester and spandex on the outside, that's where I would recommend either you kind of go with a low melt blocker, and you can press it at a lower temperature. Our next transfer type, this one's kind of be more for your technical stuff, like North Face, so on and so forth. It's called the soft shell blocker, and this is mainly for pressing items like soft shells. So ultimately the outside of the shell is part fleece, part polyester. In general, that's really hard to decorate, and that's what we did here. We have a special version of the blocker that actually applies to a garment like that. So you'll be able to get really nice full color designs on garments like this. And then lastly, so this will be super reflective. This will be our other new offering. And ultimately what this does is it gives you reflective graphics without having to weed or having to mix your own reflective inks and do certain special setups that you're gonna have to do if you're doing reflective anything. And like that, you see that moisture that's coming up, that means there's still a little bit of moisture in the garment, so just pre-press as many times as it needs to. And like that, nothing rises no more, so we're ready to go.
Oh, I never knew that's how you could tell. I mean, obviously that makes sense, but
yeah, ultimately, if you still see some vapor rising in the air, that means there's some still moisture present in the garment. So then we just give it another press, and when there's no more moisture rising up, that's how we can tell it's dry. So like I said, SupaColor, completely clear mylar, so you can kind of see your artwork where you're placing it. Anything DTF, blocker, SupaColor wearable, it's gonna arrive just like this, ready to go. So go ahead and get our placement right here, and then we'll press it for 15 seconds at 318 degrees. And the biggest thing that's always set us apart from the rest is we're a hot peel. And with that hot off the press, full color print right there, and it's screen printed. So you get a nice hand feel. You can just stretch it all you want, and it'll rebound just the way it was. That's basically SupaColor in a nutshell. And what I can do is I can take you guys downstairs now and ultimately show you what sets us apart from the rest.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Absolutely.
No, that is really cool. Super cool. Hey, what's up, man? I'm Steve.
This is Rum, our president.
Oh, okay. Super president right here. There we go.
How's it going?
We were just filming right now. I was gonna show him the screen room real quick, and that was about it. Yeah.
I've been a long time customer since like the early days. I didn't know how much you guys have been doing. I say he needs a lab coat when he's explaining all the different print processes. You guys are killing it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So I'm just gonna bring you guys through here. So this is our screen room. Ultimately, when it comes to SupaColor, this is what's going to be setting us apart from the rest, is screen printing is part of the process. So for every single transfer you're ordering, except for SupaDTF, there's going to be screens created just for that. And the reason for that is really screen printing is part of the process. You got to make screens, right? So we got both manual and automatic ways of creating that. And really that's ultimately what sets us apart is we're a heat transfer by screen printers for screen printers and opening it up to the whole world to be able to produce merch just like professionals.
He whipped up a new Sky Sportswear logo that has like a doming effect that you wouldn't be able to screen print without a gradient. Sky blue on the white. Let's do it on a black. My favorite shirt, the basics, baby. I just went over and told him to send it.
Is it going to be for everyone or just for you?
Just this one. So this is the logo. It's gonna go across the whole chest right here. Of course, you could print on the jerseys and all that stuff that we showed, but it's gonna look better with the sub-lock DTF stuff. So there's differences and reasonings for both processes and everything. And you see how on this it's got like a bubble effect. With screen printing you would have to do half toning and all that stuff, but with DTG you don't need to do that because it prints directly onto the fabric. All right, so fully printed DTG shirt right there with all the bubble effects and all that. What's the difference between DTF and DTG? In my personal opinion, it's really the feel. You can't feel anything when you do the DTG print. It doesn't compare to, even when you do screen print, sometimes people would rather feel the DTG print, you know, and we saw the stretch on the DTF prints. With DTG, I would probably run samples, even the production just for the feel and how nice they are, but if you're somebody at home heat pressing everything by themselves, it's good to get those prints so that you could print one hat and then save the prints for later and then print them as they go. If you sell 6 hats tomorrow, you could use 6 of your prints, but you still have 30 of the other ones.